Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to part 6 of the snowspeeder build. Today we're going to actually start working on painting up the guys, and then maybe towards the end we'll get the canopy glued on. So let's head over to the bench.
Well, hello everyone, welcome back, and here's her all glued together. At least our laser cannons are on and engines are on. It's starting to look pretty good. Everything worked out pretty nicely. There's still a little sticky stuff from the clamps. Everything glued down really good, especially these areas. I was a little worried that, especially this one. This one had a little bit of spring back, but no, it went glued in really nice. And they look good like the way they're glued. There's one little bubble hole there which I can fill before we do this final spray. But yeah, they're looking good. And there's our wires for the cannons and our engine wires. So they'll all should be able to go back here and get connected. But yeah, we'll spray that. And then here's our figures. I let them sit overnight. Just because I was tired and I wanted these guys to really try in. So, but they're coming along pretty good too. But let's see, we got an orange and we got a vermilion. I wonder what one it looks more like. Or can we mix our own and make it more like, where's my, here's my book. Give us a real good reference from ILM. I think it was 83. I want to say the page was. Look to see what page we're at. There we go. So they're, it's almost like a red orange. It's almost like that. Actually, that's really close to what they're wearing. Compared to that, yeah. It's really close. So we're going to go with that. There it is. There we go. Yeah, that don't look bad at all. Put some in my tray. Yeah, wow, that looks really close to what they're wearing. A little more on the orange side. Maybe I'll put a drop. Oh, I'm gonna have to. I'll put a drop of orange in it. Just a drop. And find a good brush and see what happens. That's the nice thing, at that price you're you know, it doesn't hurt to experiment. We just need to bring it a shade up. And I think that did, but I think I want to come a shade more. Okay. Just because it's probably going to dry a hair darker than it is wet. And I just want that little drop. Please give it to me. I kind of flew it off to the side here. Yeah, that works for me. All right, little guy. You over there. All right. We can do some tests back here. Yeah, it's good. It doesn't matter if we hit the backpack or, yeah, the parachute a little bit. Not going to worry about it too much. It's just a lot of orange on these guys. It makes it really easy to paint. The helmets could get really intricate because I just looked at the studio scale model and what they did on that is pretty intricate, but also I believe that's a bigger scale, so they were able to. I don't know if I'm going to go that crazy. I'm probably going to do the red and the yellow stripe and the gray and the yellow there to pull that in and just do a red dot to symbolize the symbol that's on there. Because there's no way we would get the shape. But it's better than theirs. They just show 2 red stripes and that's it. But if I look at the actual studio scale, not just it.
No. There he is. It's hard for you to see because there's no light over this way. Look like he's racing a go-kart.
But still, it just makes me laugh how long those arms are. That's incredible. I already see a cat hair. So we'll let you hang on to you and let you dry. Where's the other? Oh, you're still in the ship. You're hard to get out because your one hand goes underneath the console, so I gotta kind of twist you. There we go. I think the way we're gonna do you is I'm gonna have to hold you onto you there. Sure, it's easier to hold on to you like this for now. Just like it made the helmet white come down further than it should. Because I knew I was going to overlap it with the orange. So orange is supposed to act like a hood too. At least that's what they had on the actual original ship, so. These guys, I still say they're World War II pilots or something. And they just reused them. And you could have painted over the parachute. It's just sometimes I think that's going to be a lighter color. Still not sure what I'm doing that as. I think I'm going to do that light sky gray. Because I think that'll hide it. And I think that's what that control box was. And just to give the impression that it is what it's supposed to be instead of a... Almost done in this first coat. I'll still probably use a little more water, and maybe I'll use a little more water in the second coat. Sometimes your later coats, it's nice to do a little thinner because you're really only just trying to cover up the transparency of the paint where, you know, the brush is moving it. But sometimes it's, the thinner ones will lay nicer, they'll lay flatter. And so that allows, and since they're wetter and they're going to lay flatter, they'll pull your base coats a lot of times. It'll help them level out too. I think that's good enough for now. I'll come back and we'll have these guys done. Really, I just got to do the goggles and the gloves. And then the extra detail on the helmet. Like I said, I think I'm just going to do a red and then a yellow, I think it is. It shows you in the book, if I can find that page again. Like I said again, this Sculpting the Galaxy inside the Star Wars model shop is great, by Lauren Pearson. It's got a preface by George Lucas, a forward by Rick McCullen, and afterwards by Phil Tippett. Phil Tippett's another great, where he did all the stop motion stuff. Wow, look at the cannon, and so you see the cannon's really good on this scale. Here we go, there's our guys. Yeah, and it's more than a red, it's almost like a burgundy, you know, and so that's another reason I'm glad I got all these colors. That we're going to do right at the center strip, where there's a bump in the helmet, and then we're going to kind of point it towards the helmet too, towards that bump, and then we'll do a yellow, almost a mustard yellow, alongside it, and then yellow goes across here. There's no way to make these guys exact because those are bigger figures. This is obviously the bigger model. The figures are actually wearing clothes. Yeah, so it looks like then the yellow piece goes across. It has the black stripes going in it like that. The gunner has almost a different helmet. He has like the big burgundy band go across. Might still have the burgundy yellow, but then he has that burgundy band that kind of widens as it gets to the front from what it looks like. But then there I see he has a symbol too. So that might be something on the back of helmets that I can't see. Look at the old land speeder, and look at how bad these figures are. But it was so far away, they didn't even care. I mean, our C-3PO has no definition. No, R2 has no color, except for, looks like they tried a Sharpie in a blue spot there. It's funny. But yeah, we're going to let these dry because I still see wet spots. Probably where the paint is really thick. Yeah. So I can hit them with my dryer too. How are you looking? Much better now that you're turning orange, you know. That ties in everything else. I think the goggles will do in a yellow, because that's what those look like. It's like an off yellow, not a yellow yellow, almost like a real light orange yellow. So, yeah, we're going to have to find that color too. But we can go with a yellow, if need to be. We got this all painted up, so it's looking good, all one similar color. I was able to use some of the surface putty, or the surface primer from Tamiya to fill in some of the gaps, especially the gap that was right in between those pieces. It filled it in really nice, and it's flexible, so it's not going to crack. And it worked on the other side. I put a little bit in there, and then all along these seams where these pieces were all glued down. So everything looks really good, especially right here along this edge. Was a big gap. Not a huge gap, but a decent gap on these edges. So all these edges are nice. Back we hit. Remember those were black. Now they kind of have a, you can see the black a little bit down underneath it. So it kind of gives it that worn, weathered, pre-weathered look. Then we'll go in with a wash and really dirty them up and hit it with some airbrush stuff. But that gives it a good pre-weathered look. That's hard to really emulate, but all down in the cracks it stays darker. So, and even these still have it a lot. So that looks really good. Our doors still open up so we can see in our compartments, but we'll keep those down because we're going to have one glued up real high and the other one a little lower. And I believe I can take all this masking off. Here's some masking to keep the wires from getting any worse than they were. We can get rid of some of this masking, and I got to get in here and actually paint some of the control panels that are in here, these two boxes right by the windows. Alright. Yeah, that looks really good. I think what I'm going to do is simple as hitting it with a little bit of this silver pastel. Let's see what that does for them. A whole lot. I think I had one of these. There we go. That might not be it. I'm trying to use this one. I think this one's the darker one, but let's see if I can get some of the silver. Yeah, I might actually go in there and hit that with silver. Just not getting what I want. With the pastels. I tried. Sometimes you can do something quick like that. But we might want to do some of the pastels on the control panels here. But I did go through here in weather. The guys are all done. The helmets look good. So, got the guides in there. I think we go through and this stuff's great because it gives that kind of silver highlight on the edges. So the edges of stuff look a little more worn and it definitely brings the definition in when you do that. It'll usher in that metallic look. Yeah, that looks really good. It works really good with the German gray. So I like doing a lot of my cockpits with the German gray. A little dust and dirt. Some areas like on the gloves. And there we go. I dirtied them up a little bit. And that'll settle in a little more. Once moisture helps the pastels settle down. Right now they're dry and fluffy and looking. But yeah, there we go. So we got a dusty, dirty kind of look going on them. Go through and grab like another brush and kind of lessen it and wear it down, and there we go. And we can glue that in now. But let's see, what do I want to do there? I think we'll do a silver and maybe a copper. Maybe a brass, because I think, what do we got? Yeah, let's do a brass. Even a gold. It's the antique. Oh, this is that gold. I think we'll hit that one. On this side. The silver. And we'll put a couple of dots of gold. Hopefully this isn't like most gold. Okay. Some golds like really separate. There, that'll work. Just give something going on in there. Besides just a grayish block. And then we'll hit it with a wash to tie it in with the rest of the ship. We should be able to get this canopy on. And let that set while that's drying. While the cockpit's drying. This should go. Go, snap it in. And like I said, I actually painted that gray with that in. That way it left me a good gluing surface for the for this piece. And since this is going to need a pretty strong bond, gluing, we've got a good surface here to go to. No, that'd be easier with a pair of tweezers. Maybe. Let's see here. Now hopefully it doesn't glue the hinge part down from it oozing. That's my only worry. I did a little highlight of the lighter color on the parachutes. Not supposed to be parachutes, but I just took the same color gray and added a little, made it a shade or two lighter, and then dry brushed it. And then when I did the wash, it really ties it in together. It really gives some detail. I like that. Other than all that, they're just pretty basic. Especially for figures that are not correct, as far as they look like military plane figures, not Star Wars pilots, but they'll work. Like I said, once they're in here, once they're in there, you're not going to overly see them. It's just they'll look like there's somebody in there. Once they're in there, it's just supposed to look like there's somebody in there. So yeah, that'll work just fine. I mean, the pilot that looks nothing like Luke Skywalker. Like I said, if I can ever find them figures that are correct and the scale, we'll replace them. But, alright. I'm going to call that a break period. We let things dry. Let them dry. They're still a little damp from the figures are still a little damp from the wash, and we'll let those two boxes dry, and while I'm off camera, I'll get these painted up, because we're getting ready to glue that cockpit in there, and then we can tie the wiring together. I still need to make a trip to Hobby Lobby to get a base for this, so got to do that really soon. And got to grind this rivet that's going to go in the bottom. Got to grind a little bit off of that so that can fit in there, so we can thread the rod in. I'll be checking, seeing how my taps work. But all right, I will see you back here shortly. Thanks for watching.